Officers responded here for reports of an overdose with the male not breathing. We got here a couple minutes after the call came out. When officers went in, the male was on the sofa, agonal breathing, no pulse. We were able to get him off the couch, move some furniture out of the way, and the other officer with me, Officer Sharp, started CPR. AFD medics showed up shortly after that and started doing CPR themselves. They did give the male Narcan. He was transported to the hospital. He was waking up when they left with him, so it looks good in that regard, but looks like it was related to opioid use. So the Narcan usually brings him out of it pretty well, and that's a dead giveaway that it was opioid related, because it will only work for that. But usually it's a good sign when they sit up and stuff like that. Obviously, they want to get him to the hospital because they could re-overdose when that wears off. It's not permanent, but if they get him out of here in the ambulance, they're usually going to make it. We see this every day, unfortunately. There's multiple on our shift every single day. We carry Narcan, we give it out a lot. The fire department's pretty quick at getting to stuff, and they can give them a lot more than we can with our nasal spray, but it's something we go to every day.
How bad is it really? Is it really that bad? It's one of those things where if you're not into that culture, if you're not into the drug culture, if you're not exposed to it much, you just really don't realize how bad drugs can be, how bad the drug culture can be, just because it's not at your doorstep. But once you have a family member, a friend, a colleague that is impacted by it, then it becomes a little more real for people, and I think they start to get a better understanding of how dangerous it is and how bad it can be.
In 2023, statewide, we had almost 2,000 overdoses recorded in the state of Alaska. Those are the ones that are actually reported. Out of that, about 1,200 of them in Anchorage alone, just our city here in Anchorage. Out of those 2,000 statewide, about 340 of those were fatal. And within Anchorage, about 220 of them were fatal. Those are not just the person out on the street, living homeless, chronically addicted to drugs. Those are kids, those are mothers, those are fathers, those are brothers, those are sisters. These are people that are dying. The drug is indiscriminate in who it kills.
My sister passed away from a fentanyl overdose. I got home from gymnastics practice when I was in middle school, and my parents were, I kind of could tell that they weren't really in a happy mood and that something kind of happened, and they kind of just told me when I got home, and I thought they were joking or lying, or I didn't really know what to believe.
The stuff that's out there right now is killing people, and it's generally, especially when we're talking about fentanyl, a lot of the times this is a one-shot deal. It's you have no idea what you're ingesting. The people that make these illicit controlled substances, they're not chemists. All right, this is not done in a lab. This is not a prescription from a doctor. You have no idea what you're getting your hands on. And what worked last week and you try the exact same thing next week is the difference between getting a bad batch or getting a super hot batch of dope, and all of a sudden we're getting called as patrol officers to respond to the overdose. And in a situation like that, especially with an opioid like fentanyl, seconds count. And when seconds count, help is generally minutes away.
With drugs, it seems like as soon as law enforcement officers or the public in general learns the signs, symptoms, or, what something looks like, it's going to change on you, right? So traditionally, fentanyl was like the blue, small blue pills that had the M30s stamped on them. Now it can come in a lot of different forms. It'll be mixed in a lot of things. So sometimes people, for example, think that they're smoking meth, but actually it's a combination of fentanyl and meth and other substances.
I deal with fake pills all the time. That's a large portion of my seizures are, fake Xanny bars. You can get Xanny bars on the internet, and they come back. I just made a seizure a couple months ago, probably 5,000 pills. Not a single one of them were Xanax, even though every single one said Xanax stamped on the side of them. You can buy them from China, and China will ship you over fentanyl in whatever substance or form you want. are M30s, which is a Percocet. That Percocet comes in an M30 pill. That's why they're stamped from the factory. But you can buy a pill press and make it whatever color you want and have it say whatever you want. You have the M30 stamp on every single one of them. There's guys out here in Anchorage that are making M30s that look like an M30. They're the same color, same M, same 30. I mean, you can't tell the difference.
She had bought some Xanax off the street, and it was laced with fentanyl. And when they found her body, she had a half a pill next to her body.
Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid. All right, this was created in a lab for pain management. This is people that are having surgeries. These are people that are combat soldiers in war zones as a pain management tool. People that are suffering from a terminal disease like cancer, they get issued fentanyl to help relieve that. So the symptoms of a poisoning by fentanyl are similar to a poisoning by any opioid. A narcotic analgesic, it slows everything down. It blocks those warm, squishy centers of your brain that deals with pain. And the more you get, the more that affects you. So everything starts to literally shut down. Your brain is literally shutting down your respiratory system, your circulatory system, to the point that if you have enough of these receptors in your brain blocked, you're going to stop breathing, your heart's going to stop beating, you're going to suffocate, and you're going to die. So the symptoms that you're looking at is what you would expect if somebody's suffocating. You're going to see them become lethargic. They're going to go on the nod, which literally is like they're falling asleep while they're sitting there talking to you. And ultimately, they're going to collapse and become unresponsive. Their circulatory system's going to shut down. They're going to start turning blue. Their fingernails are going to start turning blue. Their lips are going to start turning blue. Their pupils are going to constrict just simply because of the fact that's what opioids do to your body. We could be in the middle of the night. And that's a clue when we do DUIs on the street if somebody's under the influence of an opioid, because it could be pitch black. And this is Alaska. This is dark 6 months out of the year here. And you would expect when it's dark, your pupils get larger. But if it's in the middle of the night, their pupils look like pinholes, pretty good clue that you're dealing with some kind of opioid. And no intervention on that. If we don't, that's literally, when you get to that point, intervention needs to be seconds away, because the result of that, if that doesn't get reversed or corrected, it could lead to death.
He left the house on the mountain bike on a Thursday afternoon, October 25th, 2021. I said, like I always did, Bruce, I love you, be careful out there. And that's the last thing I ever said to him. His body was recovered 2 days later by a dog walker behind a Wells Fargo drive-thru and a McDonald's drive-thru, about 30 yards from the drive-thru. He was not able to call out for help. I found out later that it was 100% fentanyl that he received that day somehow. Dropped dead where he stood and couldn't call out for help.
Oh yeah, scares me for, I tell my daughters all the time, I tell youth all the time, don't take anything basically that your doctor did not prescribe you. We could talk about that as well, but don't take anything that your doctor didn't prescribe you that, didn't come straight from the pharmacy. My children know, they don't take aspirin from somebody else. If they need a Tylenol aspirin, they get it from me or from the house. It's, unfortunately, you just can't trust what someone may hand you out in the street. And not even if they're meaning to cause you harm. Who knows where they could have gotten it from, and just, hey, take this, it worked for me. So you just can't trust it, don't take it. It's scary, it is.
Like that 18-year-old I was just telling you about, her dad was doing CPR on her before I got there. And so I took over CPR, and we continued doing CPR even though we knew that she was dead from a poisoning until the medics got there so that they could do their due diligence. But, in those scenes, the sergeant doesn't need to make the notification because they know. Yeah. And that's what teens, that's the scary part, is it's not going to be a notification. It's going to be, the parents coming home to find their kid deceased on the couch or in their bedroom or in the bathroom.
We found out from a very nice policeman who said, this is my third call today on a fentanyl death. And it was 1 PM. And he said, this is, he was, my age, so it wasn't his first rodeo as a policeman. And he said, I don't know what's going on, but this is unbelievably not okay.
You know what? If it's not in a pill bottle with a doctor's name on it that you got from a pharmacy, you should probably suspect that it's laced with fentanyl. That is not a joke.
Once you start with it, like, it's hard to get off, and it's very easy to get back into it, even after some success in being clean and sober and stuff like that. So the best way to avoid it is to never start.
This, as it sits, is not going to help in any way. It's not a solution. I wish that I had not gone so far down the track I had, and I had maybe kept the courage to try to fix your world, make it what you want. We have the power to let it be whatever we want it to be. Just stand up and don't be afraid.
Treatment and stopping people from ever beating the addiction before it starts is the only cure that we're going to have to this. And this is not something that the Anchorage Police Department or the Alaska State Troopers can arrest our way out of. At the end of the day, we need help from mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters. We have to start it from ever starting. It's the only way we're going to beat this.
One small mistake can completely ruin a life and just take it away. And people should really just think about their actions before they do something.